In this video, I'll be going over how you can use the annotative text in Microservice CAD. So here I just have a sample drawing open, and I'll show you an example of some of the text in here. So I'll use this label here as an example. When I select it, you notice that I already have annotative text turned on by going here into the properties. And then I have two annotative text sizes already in here. So I go into the scales, we have the 1:1, which all text already has. And I've added the 1:2 and the 1:4. So as an example, if I look at this text here, this one still has annotative no, so I'll switch that to yes. 1:1 is already populated. Click on here, add, and you can choose any scale from the list. So I'll add the 1:2 as well, and the 1:4. So now when I select the text, you can see also the two larger sizes and where they'll be in the drawing. So now that I have my text set to be annotative and I have defined a couple of extra scales in there, I'll switch to my layout, and this is where I have a few viewports. So if you'll notice, for example on this one here, the two texts I've made annotative are larger than everything else. And when compared against the other two viewports that are at different scales, so if I look at this viewport, it's at a standard scale of 1:2. This one's 1:1, and this one's 1:4. You notice that the text size is the same size on each drawing. So if I go into the viewport again, so select the viewport and looking at the properties, you can see the annotation scale. And you can change the annotation scale to be any other scale, but the annotation scale always has to be the same size as the standard scale, but the standard scale can be a little bit larger. So if I go to 1:2, for example, I can have an annotation scale of 1:1 and a standard scale of 1:2, but I can't have it the other way. So if I can switch this to 1:2, but I can't switch to 1:4 without it also switching the standard scale to 1:4. And all these three texts have the same size. So if I go back to my model space and look at this text, it has a paper text height of 2.4. So if I go into my layout, and I'll just do a distance check, snap there. I'll just do a rough distance check here. So with distance roughly 2.4. So I didn't snap to the top of the text, so it has a size of 2.4. So this is a metric drawing. If I go to my job defaults, metric. So that 2.4 in the model space is 2.4 meters, but in the layout that's 2.4 millimeters, because in my paper layout, so I modify my paper setup, I have 1 millimeter equals 1 unit, meaning that my paper space here is in millimeters, so there's a 1,000:1 difference. Otherwise, this would be 2.4 meters high on a piece of paper. So that's how you use the annotation text in Microservice CAD.